All right, so again, council representatives for council registered units. And this is basically what we'll do tonight. We'll run through this probably in about the next half hour or so, and then we'll make sure we have time for questions. But what is a council registered unit? The role, we're going to talk about the role of the council rep, and then also the role of the treasurer, which is a little bit more expanded as we have to do some different things with reporting, with the financial reporting. We'll talk about that. Unit equipment for council registered units is a little bit different. We'll get into that and some of the things we're going to have to look at with vehicle inspections, trailer inspections, some things like that. What we need to do for registration, then insurance, facility use agreements, and certificates of insurance. So a couple things we'll have to take care of as we meet at different locations as well. All right, so what is a council registered unit? So this is a new thing for us in the past, over 110 years of the Boy Scouts of America. We've had a traditional, our model of registering units, which is that they're registered with a community partner that ties you into the neighborhood and the community, and then work with them to grow and maintain all the scouting standards. With all the different changes we've had over the last couple of years, we've lost some of those relationships with some of our traditional churches and chartered organizations, and it's the organization has moved into a new state where we can actually charter or register units directly with the council. But then along with that comes some new changes. The council is serving as the chartered organization, if you will. And now the unit committee and council will share in the, basically share in the governance responsibilities, adult leader selection, the approval, maintaining all the membership standards, youth protection guidelines, maintaining safe program planning, ensuring a quality program, and then also the incident reporting, making sure that's all done in a timely manner in case there's any kind of insurance that's needed, and just to make sure that we're helping out any of our scouts or leaders that maybe were hurt or injured at a meeting or on a camp out. With the council registered units, it may require a facility use agreement for a meeting location. So if we're meeting at a church or something and they want a facility use agreement, we'll need to fill that out. We have a form for that. A lot of times with our meetings, we may just meet if we're meeting at a school or park district and they just require the certificate of insurance, we typically have certificates of insurance on file with those organizations and don't need to do a separate facility use agreement unless they want that. The council registered units are going to use the council employer identification number, or EIN number, to open and maintain any checking accounts. That's a new thing. As you worked with a chartered organization in the past, you would have worked with them to use their EIN number or get your own through an SS4 form. But now the benefit of this is you'll be able to use the council EIN number to open and maintain checking accounts. Oh, finish up this one. Council will own all the unit equipment. So just like the chartered organization would own the assets and of the unit, the council now would assume that responsibility. And with that, the unit will be required to submit reimbursement for insurance costs. Unit must submit an annual vehicle or equipment report. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then the agreement is actually just between the local council and the unit committee. So there's no third party or BSA involvement in that. That's just with the council and the unit committee. Here's the key roles, responsibilities of the council rep. So the institution head will appoints an individual to serve as the council representative and have direct contact with the unit. This is what we've tried to do is work with the units, and in most cases, the chartered organization representative is continued on as the council representative. There may be some cases where we've had to switch that, but a lot of the time, you have that experience as a council or a chartered organization representative, and you'll be able to move right into that role as council representative, just with some of those minor changes. The council representative, really should be a council or district level volunteer. Someone that is familiar with the council. You're going to be representing the council and reporting, between the council and the unit. But a difference here is you will not be a voting member of the local council. So where we had that agreement with a third party or community partner in the past, now it's just with the council, and then you would not be a voting member. The council rep is responsible, though, for appointing the unit committee chair for the unit committee, and again, working closely with the unit. The council rep is going to be responsible for, reference checks, youth protection training, ensuring safe practices, 2 Deep leadership, guide to safe scouting, basically maintaining, quality program and a safe program for all of our scouts and leaders. One thing to note here is you'll see down at the bottom in those parentheses, the council rep will be coded as a COR, but also as a unit commissioner in the BSA system. So everyone will be dual registered. The reason we're doing that, and we're not going to ask you to commission other units. You're basically only going to be that unit commissioner, which is the council representative for your unit. And what it does, though, is it gives us access to the commissioner tools. You'll see that up on that second column there. And it'll be the way that we can manage the reporting and, notes on each of the units. We're looking at probably, 50 units or so that we'll have registered with the council, and we're going to need a way to manage all of that with the help of all of you. And the way we think we can do that is use an existing tool, the commissioner tools, and we can record that. We do ask, our commissioners to try to have 6 visits or contacts a year, and that's what we'll ask each of you to do, just to record that 6 times a year if we can. One thing we talked a little bit about earlier tonight, and we'll need to provide a little bit of onboarding or instruction for each of you with the commissioner tools, so that we can just show you how to do that. It's pretty simple and doesn't require a manuscript or anything to be put in there about the unit, but just, things that we might need to be aware of, that there's going to be a Scoutmaster change next year or Cubmaster change, some of those big changes, and where the unit and the council reps may need some help. Also, you're going to communicate and work through the district institution head. So basically how the structure is going to work now is we will have an overall council institution head, which was Dave George. If you were involved in some of the early conversations, you would have heard Dave's name. And now Deb Brown, who's on the call tonight, is going to fulfill that role as our council institution head. She'll work with each of the district IHs, and they will be the ones directly working with each of the council representatives for the units in their district. So we don't have all of those district institution heads appointed yet, but we're working on that, and that should be done here in the next couple weeks, and then we'll announce that so everyone knows who they'll be, working with as well. We talked about using the commissioner tools to draw attention to unit needs, and then also the necessity to ensure that the incident reporting is timely. That helps with insurance, and really to check on any of our scouts or adult leaders that were, twisted an ankle or had an incident on an outing or at a meeting. We will be asking, we'll encourage you to use the online applications for youth and adult registrations. This will be a trend you'll start to see more and more. We'll be asking our units to go more to the online application. So it's just one of the things we'll be pitching, not only with the council registered units, but all of our units. And then, of course, obviously can continue to reach out to your local DE or professional staff, but also your commissioner staff that have been helping you. I'm sure all of you, as we've gone through rechartering and this migration to these council registered units, you've been working with a team of professional staff and volunteers and commissioners. And I'd encourage you to continue to work with them as we work through the process. We want to make it as comfortable and as transparent as we can for all of the units. All right, so we talked about a little bit expanded roles for some of these positions. So the treasurer is one of those roles that's going to be expanded a little bit because of the assets that the council will now own. And that's something will require reporting from the unit to the council so that we can fulfill our obligations and reporting for our audit and financial statements. So the treasurer will be a registered member of the committee. They'll also be designated in MyDOT Scouting as the treasurer. We'll be able to communicate and we'll know exactly who that person is, especially if there's a change. And then we're going to ask the units to submit an annual finance report to the council through Dropbox. We'll ask for a December end of year statement, and we'll want that no later than January 15th. And that's mostly because of the reporting requirements that the council has. In some earlier questions that we had about that particular requirement, we realized that units are working through that transfer process right now of closing checking and banking accounts and have to open up new ones. I realize that's going to continue to take some time. What we'll ask for this year will be that basically just a bank statement at the end of the year. We won't need that whole financial statement filled out, and I'll show you that. It just has some additional questions on it. We won't need all of that filled out, but that banking statement we'll need. The treasurer is also going to work with our council business manager, and that person is Karen Wanick. You've probably seen her name on a few of the documents we've sent out. Karen's the one that will help open up unit checking accounts using the council employer identification number, or EIN number. We're going to ask that the units have 2 signatures on all checks. This is just best practice, and make sure that there's a check and balance for each of you. Want to make sure that you guys have the proper protection as well, or well, the unit does. And then want to make sure that we do the reports at all unit committee meetings. That's the treasurer. Excuse me. And then submit any unit money earning applications. So for any fundraisers that the unit's going to do, we want to make sure that's all taken care of and done properly. And then we're going to encourage unit participation in council product sales, or such as popcorn or maybe some other ones that we do as well, just like we would with any unit, but especially units that are going to be chartered with the council. All right. So with the council registered units, the financial assets and then all the physical assets, basically, the ownership transfers to the council for use with your unit, right? I mean, we're not looking to take in a bunch of equipment and trailers to do anything with. It's just that we will be responsible for them in the governance structure here. So really with the unit equipment in the vehicle reporting, what we're going to look for is we want to ensure that the trailers are safe, and that's going to be the biggest thing, right? We know we have tons of trailers. Pretty much every unit has at least one trailer. We want to make sure that everything is roadworthy and safe. So we're going to ask that everyone schedules an appointment with a certified technician to complete an annual inspection of the trailer or any other vehicles. Also going to schedule an appointment with the council business manager to review insurance documentation. And this is going to really make sure that everyone in the unit is covered and make sure that everything is properly insured and everyone's covered. If the council's paying insurance and registration fees, we're going to bring the check to reimburse at that meeting with the business manager. Okay, so if we're paying for any kind of insurance, there'll be a reimbursement that'll be needed from the unit, and we'll do that with the business manager. We're going to submit the inspection form and driver's list and copies of driver's license to the business manager. And then council insurance renewal takes place September 1. So if a vehicle is on the council policy to process, or that process must be completed by August 1st. So basically, if you add a trailer, right, we need to know about that and then make sure that it's covered by insurance, and we'll make sure that we do that by by August 1st.